Following a 4-1 defeat to Watford, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was dispensed from his role at Manchester United after a few years in the job and has been temporarily replaced by Michael Carrick until today, when Manchester United have appointed Ralf Rangnick, one of the godfathers, if not the godfather or grandfather you could say, of Gegenpress, as the interim manager or head coach until the end of the season, where he will then drift off upstairs in some form of consultancy capacity, according to news reports. It's not all signed, sealed and delivered just yet, but I've got the glasses on, which means we have an experiment in the works. So what I've done is I have simulated the first season 10 times. 5 times with Ralf Rangnick in charge, 5 times with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in charge, and then at the end of this video I will show you the averages of those 5 seasons put together or divided by 5, you know how averages work, to see ultimately who Football Manager 2022 thinks would have been the best person in charge come the end of the 2021-22 season. So I'm going to show you their best seasons, and then I'll show you the averages, and then we can come to some form of conclusion together. I don't know why I've done that. That's very odd, isn't it? Anyway, let's have a look at how Ralphie Boy did. Ralphie Boy. I mean, the tactical knowledge. 11. That's harsh. He's the godfather / grandfather of Gegenpress. Surely. I mean, the player ability and potential is off the chisane. That may help him in his next role after his interim managerial position. Not so much initially though. Motivating 12 and people management 14. Everything. I mean, his actual coaching is ridiculous. How has he got tactical coaching 20 and tactical knowledge 11? How does that work? How is that? Bristol City promoted to the Premier Division. Okay. So in Ralf Rangnick's most successful season out of the 5 seasons, he had 2 that were quite close together, but I've based this on points total come the end of the season. He finished with 81 points in second place to Liverpool, so only 3 points shy, not far off goal difference either. So let's have a look at his actual record. He's still in charge, obviously. He didn't get sacked at all out of any of the 5 simulations, which is, congratulations, Ralph. Give you a clap. I should actually give him a clap, but there, I've actually done it. There we go. Okay. I digress. So, in his best season, he had 106 goals for, 58 against, with a club goal difference of 48 and a win percentage of 59. Obviously, that is inclusive of all the games throughout the season, so all of the club competitions, all of the cup competitions. Oddly, this season is the only season he didn't sign a single player. So, obviously, done all right with the crop. I did block the first transfer window from happening again to, keep some realism, but both of the managers took charge sort of at the same point, so it's as even or as equal as I could possibly make it. So let's have a look to see how United have done in the other cup competitions, shall we? Let's have a look. Senior squad. Okay, knocked out in the group stage. That's not great, Ralph, is it? That's really not great. If not done well at all. They obviously moved down into the Euro Cup and won the Euro Cup, so maybe. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo is top goal scorer everywhere. Are we surprised? We'll look at players in a minute. I don't know what's going on with my voice. It's all over the shop. Knocked out in the 4th round by Middlesbrough. Yikes, in the FA Cup. And then Carabao Cup knocked out in the 4th round again by Spurs. And Cristiano Ronaldo, imagine our collective shocks, everyone, top goal scorer. Wow, a bit of a dip there. I'm surprised he survived that, because that's not actually far from when Ollie got sacked. Dipped to 7th after losing to Brighton. Started poorly, finished strong. So you can't really complain at that too heavily. Let's have a look then at players, and Jadon Sancho actually played 44 starts and 7 as a sub. So quick maths, 51 total appearances, 18 assists, 4 goals. Cristiano Ronaldo there, 28 goals. Fernandes with 22, 17 assists. I mean, Ronaldo's chipping in with 9, played 51 games as well. He played almost every single game, which is insane. Even Cavani's getting 12 and he's barely played, only coming on as a sub, and Greenwood chipping in as well. So fairly well shared across the front players. I was going to go for forwards, but they're not all forwards, and I'm also an idiot. Yes, so that's that. He obviously didn't sign any players, but Juan Mata's leaving apparently, and Jesse Lingard is. Where are you going? Okay. Money, I guess. Who are the worst players? Juan Mata, 2 substitute appearances. Anyone with substantial appearances? Who's Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Not the greatest. It's not the worst either, but it's not amazing. Fred, 13 sub appearances, 6.54. Ouch. Okay, shall we have a look at how Ollie did in the same period of time? So let's have a look at Ollie's managerial profile in Football Manager. First of all, tactical knowledge 10. I think that's probably fair, isn't it? Judging player ability and player potential. I can't say player apparently. People management 19. Not convinced about that either, really. Motivating 14. I guess so. Wow, Millwall. That's even more weird than the Bristol City get through. And Ollie has won in his first season. This is so. Ralf Rangnick's second simulation was his best. Ollie's first was his best. 85 points, winning the league, beating Liverpool by a point. Oof, tight, very tight. They lost to Liverpool at home. Did they beat them at Anfield? They did in the FA Cup. Not in the league. And they lost to them away as well. So despite losing both home and away to Liverpool in the league, it matters not a jot in the grand scheme of things. There we go. How different things could have been. Also, Ollie did sign a player. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But goals for 128 in comparison to the 106 that Ralf Rangnick got in his best simulation season. Goals against 68 with the total club goal difference of 60. 67% win percentage, which is considerably higher than Ralf Rangnick's. Knocked out in the semi-final. City as well. Imagine. One less goal for Cristiano Ronaldo in the league. Top goal scorer in the FA Cup, which they won, and the Carabao Cup runners-up as well. So they've got a double, knocked out in a semi-final and lost in another final in the Carabao Cup, which they probably didn't care about so much. Let's see who that one single player was who they signed before we have a look at personal things. So, Osame Sharawi, I think I've pronounced that somewhere close to being right, made substitute appearances, fleeting substitute appearances. Imagine our shock, he's Norwegian. So Ollie is using his Norwegian tentacles. I don't know why they're tentacles. He's not really played an awful lot. I don't know how that has equated to the £21 million that he spent, but apparently that's how much was spent in transfer fees. Why doesn't it tell you who they beat Leicester in the final? Okay, thank you. Why doesn't it show that here? It tells you who they were knocked out by. Why doesn't it tell you? I mean, the same as this runner-up. Who did they lose to? Chelsea. That's a bit harder to swallow. That's what she said. They've been top for 2 weeks. 2 game weeks out of an entire season. Wow. Let's see how Liverpool dovetail. Oh my word. Obviously it's literally the last day, but they've either been first or second for the majority of the season, and they've lost it in the last game. Players then, and how they have performed in comparison to Mr. Rangnick. Matic with it's a 7 point for one appearance. Let's discount that one. But Jadon Sancho, 55 games, 15 goals, 15 assists, with the highest average rating just against Cristiano Ronaldo, who's got 25 goals in total over that season. So let's have a look. He is their top goal scorer. Bruno Fernandes is with 24. He's played 62 games. 62 games in a season. He has been a busy boy. Then Cavani and Greenwood on 13 and 12 respectively, and then Rashford on 12 as well. Saying that, Paul Pogba's played 58 games. Not really the greatest output though. Assists-wise, then Fernandes tops out with Sancho behind him, and then Pogba after that. So maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. But yeah, they've done all right. They've done all right. Yeah, this is the new boy. 1 goal, 2 assists. Yeah, well done, I guess. Ollie's best season is considerably better. I say considerably better, it's not by much. Like, points total wise, there's 4 points in it. Best season, 1 position. But let's have a look at the averages now then and see what FM22 thinks after 5 simulations to try and sort of even out some of the randomness that you do sometimes get with Football Manager. Well, this is a tight run thing, isn't it? On the table you can see in front of you, the average position is the same over 5 simulations for both. Ralf Rangnick finished with a 3.2 average, and Ollie finished with a 2.8. So there's literally 0.4 point swing between both of them in their average. So it's very close. Points-wise, it's a bit more in the favour of Ralph. He was a lot more consistent over the 5 simulations. Total spend was pretty close as well, 30.5 and 31.8 respectively. Goals for, despite Ollie scoring massively in quite a few of the seasons, he had 1 dud where he actually got sacked. He got sacked and replaced by Diego Simeone, who didn't really do a lot to turn things round. He got sacked in the February. Goals against is very close again, 58.4 versus 57.2. Goal difference is an average of all of them, so they won't add up perfectly, but 50 and 46.8. Again, it's pretty close. There's, 3.2 in that. I guess the deciding thing, win percentage, 58.4 to Ralf Rangnick, 57.8 to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is a lot closer than I thought it would be. Ralf Rangnick is significantly more experienced. His attributes in the game are quite a lot higher as well. Yet, here we have it. Ollie actually doing okay, only getting sacked once, and I dare say he should get dinged a point for that, of one of the simulations not finishing a season. Ralf Rangnick, I think, just pips Ollie to the post. According to FM22 anyway, obviously. Ollie's ship has very much sailed. We'll see how Ralph does in interim charge as the season progresses. Well, we've reached the end of the video, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a like. Drop a comment down below if there's anything else you'd like to know about any of the 5 simulated saves, and I will share that with you. Why don't you subscribe to the channel? I do a mixture of both tech and Football Manager, so there is a 50% chance that you will like one of those things, right? Hopefully. Fingers crossed, but either way, subscribe if you would like to see more of moi. And also, why don't you check out the 5-Star Potential podcast if you are a big fan of Football Manager. It's the longest weekly Football Manager podcast going still. Ta-da! So, yeah, why don't you check it out? The links will be in the description, like everything else. Anyway, I guess I should say goodbye now. Oh, check me out on Twitch as well, why not? And Twitter, Instagram, all of the usual nonsense. And I'll see you in the next video. I think that's what I'm supposed to say now, right? Bye. Enjoy the outro. So, let's get started, I guess. I don't know why I had to dance with my hands there. But before we get to the averages, we have... That's going to stick. I'm sure it is. The media are going to be using that an awful lot. They're not going to be using it. Right, let's go. Well, we've reached the end of the video. I'll see you in the next video, won't I? Won't I? Yes, I will. Anything else you'd like to know, and I'll divulge that information as and when I please. And thank you. There's a 50-50% chance, 50-50% that you don't have that. That's 5,050. I'm talking bollocks, I think, is... I managed to sail through the rest of this video. I'm now trying to do the outro, and it's going marvellously badly. I'm still talking. This is probably going to be in the outro now, isn't it? Who knows? Only future past me. I don't know how, whichever space-time continuum we are now existing within. We're getting a bit existential now. Bye.